Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers players recruiting just released. Jaguars wide receiver, you're a Steeler. The Pittsburgh Steelers locker room seems to want Christian Kirk. Safety Deshaun Elliott and linebacker Patrick Queen each chimed in on Instagram to give their pitches to Kirk. Elliott, in particular, has been vocal about what the Steelers could do this offseason, and Kirk has piqued his interest. Kirk is the type of player the Steelers could use, and they almost did land him during the season. Before he suffered a broken collarbone that would end his season, Kirk would likely land in Pittsburgh. Instead, the Steelers had to pivot to Mike Williams, who they moved for a fifth-round pick. However, Williams never became anything other than a limited jump ball player, and with that skill set, he could not supplant Van Jefferson in the rotation. Even players like Ben Skowronek earned more playing time than Williams. Kirk, however, could be the type of player the Steelers would like in that room. He played 73% of his snaps in the slot a season ago, but over his career, he has played 43% of his games on the outside versus 56.5% in the slot. That means he can be versatile and move around the formation. With injuries mounting up, Kirk has put up just a little bit over 1,000 yards over the last 2 seasons, but he will be a legitimate option. Kirk is a nice player, but he cannot be the only move. Just 1101 receiving yards and mounting injuries over the last 2 years are a significant concern. His yards per route run over those seasons is a solid 2.1, though, so there is talent there, but the Steelers would have to make this move at the right price and as a compliment, not a sure thing. Russell Wilson tied wide receiver could be new option for Pittsburgh Steelers. Another Pro Bowl wide receiver is on the market for the Pittsburgh Steelers to pursue. The Seattle Seahawks cut 10-year veteran Tyler Lockett, giving him the option to join a new team for the first time in his career. Lockett's release hit the transaction report on Wednesday, meaning he can sign as early as Thursday with a new team if he wants to at any point. One team that makes lots of sense is a reunion with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas. But if the Steelers brought back Russell Wilson, Lockett could be a player they pursue. Lockett, 32, played in all 17 games but had just 600 receiving yards on 49 receptions this last season. That was his worst season since 2017. Along with the emergence of Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Seahawks decided it was time to move on. They still have to figure out how to reconfigure their room, however, with a likely trade of DK Metcalf coming as well. Lockett is a 3-time All-Pro and Pro Bowler and has over 8,500 receiving yards throughout a solid career with the Seahawks. On top of that, he has over 4,000 return yards, though that part of his game has faded with age. If the Steelers were to pursue him, it would likely not cost them much. On top of that, it feels like Lockett would just be a complimentary move rather than the only move they would make during the offseason, considering they likely want to get younger at that position. Is DK Metcalf worth trading Steelers' third-round pick? Is DK Metcalf worth the Steelers' third-round pick? The Steelers need a wide receiver, and Seahawks WR DK Metcalf has asked for a trade. Seattle is willing to be obliging, and reportedly, at least one team is willing to part with a third-round pick. By no means am I suggesting that the Steelers are that team, but should they be? Unlike the situation with Deebo Samuel, Metcalf is undoubtedly looking for a new contract. If the Steelers were willing to trade for him, they would have to be willing to give him a fat new deal. So not only do they have to please the Seahawks, they have to please the player, too. Our latest videos, of course, when a player requests a trade, he obviously wants to go to a better situation. If he were with the Steelers, DK Metcalf would be a Kono one with George Pickens, at worst, I imagine. He has produced consistently throughout his career and is still only 27 years old. Over 6 seasons, he has 438 catches for 6,324 yards and 48 touchdowns. Last season in 15 games, he caught 66 for 992 and 5. He did also fumble twice, with 9 in his career overall. The Steelers are in the market for a receiver, and Metcalf has an obvious connection if they re-sign Russell Wilson. Trades cannot be official until the start of the new league year, so one imagines they will know who their quarterback is before anything happens. Officially, anyway, since we all know teams can iron out a trade in advance. But should the Steelers be willing to trade draft resources, even a pick as high as the third round, for DK Metcalf specifically? With Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Christian Kirk, and others already available and likely to be available, it's hard to argue. They will have options, but that doesn't mean Metcalf isn't the best option, especially if Russ is cooking. The Steelers' 2024 season has come to its predictably inauspicious end, with yet another one-and-done postseason for HC Mike Tomlin. The offense faltered, and the defense matched it blow for blow, leading to a 21-0 first-half deficit. Just like last year, the biggest question hanging over the Steelers is the quarterback question. Do they still believe in Russell Wilson and/or Justin Fields, or do they want another solution? There are other major decisions to make, as well, such as what to do with George Pickens. Do you sign him to an extension, try to trade him, or let him play out his rookie contract? The Steelers started the 2024 season 10-3, with Mike Tomlin in the Coach of the Year conversation. Wash, rinse, and repeat, and we have another late-season collapse. This may be the worst yet, a 4-game losing streak presaging a one-and-done playoff run. Welcome to Steelers football. And are you a fan? What do you think of Trey Lance's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.